Do you, when you're not able to make it out to the crag consistently, like in these times when you're busy, you've got Sharma climbing, so you've got a gym. Do you climb at the gym?
Well, so that was the thing that was really, for me, like one of the biggest tools for me with climbing sleeping lion was having this incredible rope climbing gym, near my house, because the amount of climbing that, to get good route endurance, you need to do a lot of it. 2 days a week on the rock isn't enough to get really fit on a roped endurance where you can get pumped, get to some bad holds and be able to recover. Like that, just it takes a lot of work. And so having that tool of the gym, especially through the summer, it really enabled me to. It was a huge factor for me having that, I have to say. But interestingly though, from October, all I did was rock climb and try sleeping lion. I would try it usually twice a day, make 2 tries, twice a week or 3 times a week sometimes. And it was really interesting, for me. Just I've never been methodical in anything that I do. It's just very spontaneous, but it's just very interesting to kind of recognize that the way that I've done things before is still the way that works for me now. And I basically just climbed on the rock on my project like I've always done, and that was what still works the best for me. So at the end of the day, though, I mean, that doesn't mean that things come easy or it's all fun. I mean, one of the metaphors that I like to use is like, say you have a route, maybe it's, I don't know, Biographie, for example, and say you have 2 climbers. One of them goes out there and tries it over and over and over again for 2 years and does it. The other one trains specifically for a year and 8 months, and then goes out and does it in a couple weeks, whatever. It might look like on paper one person did it very quickly and the other person took 2 years, but in the end, it was the same amount of work for both of them, and just finding the way that works for you. And the truth is that there's no shortcuts to push it, to getting better. Like it takes a lot of work and a lot of focus and commitment. In the same way that maybe certain kids learn in a classroom setting better than others, where others might learn better out on a field trip, like exploring hands-on. It might be easier mentally to do like hangboard exercises and this and that, and then go out, with the confidence that they're fit. But for me, I've always needed that objective in front of me to know why I need to get stronger. And, even when it comes to like doing pull-ups or something, it's super boring for me. And it's really hard for me to want to do them. Whereas when I'm on a route, then I want to. And so that's the way that works for me.
All right, y'all, just a quick 30 seconds here to tell you about today's sponsor, which is Frictitious Climbing. Y'all, check out this thing that they invented here. This is so rad. It's a doorway mount for your hangboard. No screwing, no drilling, no punching holes in your walls. If you travel a lot, this thing's amazing. You can put any hangboard you own onto this thing, or you can score one of their rad hangboards for 20% off, hitting that link below. It can come pre-mounted like mine did. So I popped it out of the box, I mounted it on the doorway, no mess, no fuss, and boom, you're hanging your tendons in minutes. I love this thing. You've got this reputation, maybe more than most, that like training is climbing, but I don't want to oversimplify that. So I'll leave it wide open and just ask you the same question. Where have you struggled in your training?
Well, so it was interesting. The one time that I did some structured training was with Pachi Usobiaga. I think my daughter was just born actually, and I was like, I'm here in Barcelona. I just built a climbing gym. I'm not going anywhere. This is a great time to explore something new. And it was an incredible experience, but it's very different than my regular approach to climbing, which I think for me has been a pretty sustainable sustainable approach for me in general is that I've just mostly just climbed my entire life. I think, one of the things with this high intensity training, it has an upside, but it also has a downside too, of just the level of exhaustion and just the level of intensity that it maybe pushes you to a place that not that it's artificial, but it's a little bit unsustainable in an everyday setting, right? And so once you kind of fall out of that, I think it can be maybe just a little depressing, to not be able to be at that super level. Whereas my approach has been, I haven't had like really big peaks ever. It's been just a very consistent, constant going on 30 years, right? But certainly I've noticed, in the past I could take months off climbing and basically come back and be right where I was. And now that's definitely not the case. I definitely feel a lot like it's very important to maintain my level of fitness. So consistency is really important. And so usually if I get busy with something, we just move to a new place, and it's really easy to get, suddenly 2 weeks can go by and then you're off the wagon, and that can really throw things out of whack a little bit. And then I think it's also important to reconnect with just the pure playful side of climbing, which is for me going to Mallorca and deepwater soloing. One of the things that I love about deepwater soloing is that it's, I think, maybe the only discipline that I really just enjoy climbing, whatever grade. It's not even about the grades. It's just about moving over beautiful pieces of rock. And then, of course, if you see a beautiful feature or a specific route that catches your eye, then you kind of hone in on that. But if you saw that film that we put out last week, I mean, that's what it's all about. It's like the poetic, just like beautiful, just spontaneous part of climbing where, of course, you want to try hard, you want to do hard things, but it really is about just the aesthetics and the beauty and the fun. And I think that's really important to, we get so caught up in thinking about high performance that a lot of that other stuff gets kind of pushed to the side. And I think that's really important for just to be inspired. You have to see, I think it's important to have that playful side of climbing as well.